creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
5 signs that you may already have kidney failure, and if you ignore them, they can silently destroy your health over time. So here are 5 warning signs you must not overlook. Watch this video to the end. You may need it more than you think. And don't forget to follow me and share this with someone you care about. The first sign is swelling in your ankles or feet. When your kidneys fail, they can't remove excess fluid, so it builds up in your lower body. The second sign is foamy or bubbly urine. This can mean your kidneys are leaking protein, a clear sign that they're damaged and not filtering properly. The third sign is constant fatigue. Your kidneys help make red blood cells, so when they fail, oxygen delivery drops and you feel drained all day. The fourth sign is metallic taste or bad breath. Toxic waste builds up in your body and alters your taste, making food unpleasant and your breath smell like ammonia. And the fifth sign is trouble concentrating or memory issues, because kidney failure can lead to toxin buildup that affects brain function in my next video. I'll show you natural ways to support kidney health. Comment yes if you want that, and follow for more life-saving info.
Foamy urine also can be caused eating protein-rich foods every day or anytime, right?
If you can open your legs and swing them side to side 60 times before bed, your lower back will feel completely relaxed. If you can lift your heels and balance on your toes, then swing side to side 60 times, discomfort in your waist will stay far away. If you can cross one leg over the other and swing side to side 60 times, your lower back will thank you. If you can bend your legs at a 90-degree angle and swing side to side 60 times, you can say goodbye to wide hips and mom butt. If you can place one leg over the other knee and swing side to side 60 times, waist and hip discomfort will no longer bother you. I'm Justice. Don't forget to follow me, and if this video helped you, comment yes.
This is an exercise for single people.
This is what Enoch saw when he was taken to heaven. After being invited by 2 angels, Enoch was lifted into the clouds, which he called the first heaven. As he ascended higher, he entered a dark and heavy place, filled with voices crying out in pain. These were the angels who had rebelled long ago, now bound in chains in the second heaven, awaiting judgment. Then in the third heaven, Enoch saw paradise, but right in front of it, he also saw hell. In the fourth heaven, he witnessed the sun and the moon moving in perfect harmony. In the fifth heaven, he saw massive beings known as the Gregory or Watchers, who once came down to earth but were corrupted by human desire, now living in sorrow alongside the Prince of Rebellion, waiting for their final judgment. In the sixth heaven, Enoch saw the cherubim, seraphim, phoenixes, and other celestial beings, glorious and strange. In the seventh heaven, he saw angels with many eyes, likely the Ophanim, the wheels within wheels described in Ezekiel chapter 1. The eighth heaven controlled the seasons. The ninth heaven held countless stars, constellations, and galaxies stretching farther than the eye could see. But when Enoch reached the 10th heaven, everything changed. There he saw God face to face, and he wrote, "His face was magnificent to behold, but also fearful and terrifying beyond words."
He says,
Where can I find this in the Bible?
trapping and cursing people through like his street performance.
What?
A guy in Italy, in Florence. Oh, it's crazy.
What happens to him?
So 2 guys who are really like into Christianity and stuff like that, they walk around and they see the guy, right? And they notice something. After the pose, he always finds a way to grab their hand and put his hand on top of their head. And then they saw his eyes fluttering underneath his eyelids. They went back to the room and they said, "Oh God, next time I see him, can you show me what's going on with this person? Because there's already bad energy." They go back, they see the guy still doing that to people, and he said the Holy Spirit showed him cobwebs over him. You know what
does that
cobwebs
mean?
In the spiritual realm? That's witchcraft.
Really?
Yeah.
And I could see in the spirit realm, like, this man was just surrounded by what looked like a lot of swirling dark clouds made out of like shadowy spider webs. Spider webs in the spirit realm are always symbolic. It's always witchcraft. It's like what witchcraft looks like in the spirit realm.
So he's doing curses, and whenever they walk away, they see the same cobwebs over that person.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's a trap, fam.
In Jesus' name, I rebuke all evil energy. Amen.
What kind of fast should one be doing?
If a patient is just simply looking to reduce his visceral fat, then I start with 12-12, which means 12 hours, you don't eat anything, you just drink liquids with no calories in it, and then 12 hours is your feeding period. We start with that, and we do that for about 2 to 3 weeks. Then we quickly move to 18-6. 18-6 means 6 hours you get to eat. 18 hours, it's only water, black tea, black coffee, green tea, no calories. Now, if a patient is very overweight, a patient has diabetes and your goal is to reverse the diabetes, the patient needs to lose 60 pounds, then those patients have a special type of need. For them, I will take them to a 48-hour fast once a week. Sometimes I'll go to a 3-day water fast every 9 days. Every 9 days, you will do OMAD. OMAD means 1 meal a day only, every day for 9 days. And then you're going to give me a 3-day water fast.
You know, how do you deal with the headache from fasting? Anyone? Please drop a comment. Oh, by the way, if you want to send me a video, you can send me through my Instagram at Broski Ray. The link is in the description below.
Sometimes it's hard to remember the special people, and I have to look at my Facebook. No.
Look at that.
It's not her. Nope. I need new friends.
The real Facebook.
Have evidence that Celeste's family knew about her relationship with David and allowed it. And this comment from 2024 is getting a lot of attention. So someone in Celeste's community commented on a post saying, I live in Lake Elsinore, 5 to 10 minutes away. There was so much more going on. Her family knew he was with her since she was 11. They didn't care. All they cared for was the money given to them. She said, unfortunately, she was reported missing in 2024, but they all knew where she was. Even her friends extorted David with money so they wouldn't say where she was staying. I think the mom should be held responsible too for allowing a child to move in with a boyfriend at that age.
11.
There's a lot more than what's being said. Here in Elsinore, all her friends are talking about it because she was in communication with them. So sad. She said she would sneak out at age 11 even though her neighborhood is horrible, but her parents saw that he had money and became more dependent and would let her leave the house at 13 even though he was 18. She said her mother sold her for $10K a week and he paid so that he wouldn't be seen as a...
10K a
which
week?
does add up with their Discord messages of her complaining about her parents and him saying, don't worry, I'll fix it. And the other crazy thing is that people found this comment on one of David's videos back in 2024 where someone named Robin River said he's waiting on the cops to get David for messing with minors. This is long before many of us knew about him and Celeste would be around 13 at that time. Since then, his account has blown up and people are waiting and hoping that whoever this is gives us some answers. Rest in peace to Celeste. Let me know what you guys think, and as anything comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
Poor baby. Everyone failed her.
If a father did this today, it would be a worldwide scandal. But in ancient Egypt, it was a power strategy. Ramses II, one of the most feared pharaohs in history, made a decision that today would be unthinkable. He married his own daughter. Yes, you heard that right. Princess Bentanta, his blood daughter, became the king's official wife. And it wasn't for love, it was pure politics. Pharaohs believed they were descendants of the gods, so keeping the divine blood was essential. Brothers married each other, nieces became queens, and daughters, wives. Ramses wanted to ensure the throne never left his bloodline. Marrying his own daughter was seen as the most effective way to keep everything in the family. He had over 100 children, dozens of wives, and was still worshipped as a demigod. What would be taboo today back then was a symbol of absolute power. In ancient Egypt, there were no limits when it came to throne, blood, and total control.
You know, until they developed defects that ruined their kingdom. Is that what happened? Okay.
I think it's true what they say. Your animal's intuition is almost always right, and this guy right here kind of proved it. This TikTok slideshow first has the caption, Chinese man smashes floor of rental unit after dog constantly scratches at it. There's then an image bolstering this, showing a young puppy scratching at this tile, and the man using power tools to break through that tile and see what's underneath. As previously mentioned, this is something that took place in China, and this was actually very recently, as recent as September 10th of 2025. And you'll notice, if you look at this tile the dog is scratching at, it is completely different than these tiles that are surrounding it. So a lot of people were stating maybe there's a body underneath this. In reality, when this guy broke through, he found a very small red sack that contained 5 ancient copper coins dating back to the Qing dynasty, known as the 5 Emperors coins. And while this discovery is definitely not a body, it was reported that this guy ended up moving out and paying for the damages because I believe he was uncomfortable.
Okay.
Tell y'all true story. Be simple and watch this video to the end. What the hell is this? This video is for entertainment purposes only. Let's go. What the? Shut up! What is this?
Looks
what is
like
that,
legs.
bro? What is that? Because whatever it is, I don't want it. What is that? What was that? What was that?
Okay.
People are saying it's from a cow. I go to the store all the time. I never seen that before. Are you sure that's from a cow? Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I guess it is from a cow. Look, it might just be the cow's leg. Shut up! I don't want it. I don't want it. Please keep that away from me. How is that even in the stores? And for some reason, like people bought it. You see, there was only 2 left. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game like that. You see what's going on in the streets. Shut up! I never knew that they sold cow legs, cow arms, right?
Cow arms.
Because what that looked like, it looked like something that I would never eat. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I ain't got you. See what's going on in these supermarkets. Shut up! Be careful. Because at this point, they're gonna give us anything. And it's up to you to decide if you're gonna eat it or not. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game. I ain't got you. See what's going on out here. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever go to the supermarket and I see something like that in the freezer next to the chicken and steak,
it looks like I'll be fasting forever.
Halloween's the most dangerous season of the year for the homeless. I'm like, well, why is that? Are they eating bad candy? What's going on here? He's like, no. They have these vans that come around and they tell the homeless they're going to take them to the shelter. They've got whole big meals set up for them and showers, and they can wash their clothes and all this. And a lot of them get in the vans and go, and then they tie them up and they hold them for the 31st.
No way.
And then they sacrifice them on the evening of Halloween to the devil. And it's like a perfect crime because nobody's looking for them.
Wait, it's not enough here. I have one more clip for you guys.
When do Halloween rituals actually begin, and what is the ultimate purpose of Halloween?
Well, the ritual that I remember the most clearly began about the end of September. Me and the little girl, the one I mentioned named Becky,
No way.
the abuse was very concentrated at that time.
Oh.
We were taken into several rooms where our clothing was removed.
What?
We spent the next couple of weeks in a kind of a shack where a lot of rituals went on, where a lot of animals were killed. They summoned Lucifer and his spirit to come and possess me, and so that I would be blessed to take over the position of the high priest.
To take over the position of priest, and we think that these people are the people of God. Oh my God. Bro, look at all the homeless people in Washington DC. Where they have been, they are not there. Where they have gone. It's concerning, right? Tell me what you all think about that, and stay away from these demonic festivals.
Oh, fuck no, y'all. And so it begins. You have AI starting to run shit. Albania just did something that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, y'all. I'm talking sci-fi. They just made an AI program a government ministry, y'all. This AI chick is called Delilah. So they say they did this because they want to stop corruption. But y'all got to think about it. If AI control where the money go, who's really in charge? The humans or the robots? This is the first country to give AI this kind of control. And it's not going to be the last. Like I said, AI is taking over quicker than we thought. They are implementing this AI shit too quick, y'all. We all seen the Terminator, and we all know the scary part, right? AI do not have no morals. They don't give a fuck. They don't have no emotions. They don't feel. So when we feel empathetic, sympathetic, they don't feel none of that. They are empty, soulless. Y'all, look at this shit. This shit is real, y'all. You cannot make this shit up. You think this is a real person? Me too.
Who is controlling the AI?
The best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities.
What?
Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied.
The agendas of the Great Rest, the evil elites, the Freemasons.
This video should terrify you. This scientist right here put these fleas in a jar, and then he seals it shut, trapping them in there. For 3 whole days they struggled, just smashing into the lid with every attempt. But you see this part? This is the messed up part. When the lid is removed, they actually never jump higher than the lid. And what's even more diabolical is that their offspring were born with those same limits.
Wow.
And that's how conditioning works, even for humans. So even if you have one false boundary, if it's repeated enough, it becomes your reality. And what's truly terrifying is that most people live like this, under a lid that doesn't even really exist. Look, if you never test your ceilings, you will never actually find out how high you can go. And this is exactly how dreams die. Not from failure, but from limits that you never challenged. Every day that you accept somebody's ceiling as your truth, you're actually training yourself to live small. And if you're not careful, and if you're not aware, one day, you'll pass that same ceiling on to the next generation.
That's deep. But how I change my reality?
Let's talk about the hat. Purple means royalty. And when Melania Trump wore that to meet the royal family of England, that was a clear signal. They wore blue. You know what that means. Even hubby wore a purple tie. And Melania always picks a hat for a certain reason. By Melania wearing it in front of the Queen, she's saying, I'm not just any woman. I'm equal to you. That's bold. Melania is saying, I wear the crown too. She also covered her gaze that only the royal family might see. Like she knew something that we weren't supposed to know. She could have been hiding something. You know, the purple veil is a symbol of hidden knowledge. But what I think it was a signal to the elites that are watching. The public only saw fashion, but Melania sent a clear message. You don't get to see the real Melania. And by the Queen wearing blue and allowing her to don the purple of majesty, she might be giving her her place.
Check out Melania's family tree. She is a royal from Russia.
July 2023, a chilling video surfaced online
this is
showing
crazy. I
nothing but
remember
the
this.
endless Caribbean Sea. On a small fishing boat, a man lies crumpled on the floor, wrists and ankles bound tight, his eyes wide with helpless panic. His name was Reynaldo Fuentes Campos, a Venezuelan trafficker known as the Taliban. He had been accused of stealing hundreds of kilos of the white powder and cash. And in the world of the cartels, stealing is a death sentence. So now on this boat, his punishment begins. The men grab him, drag his body across the deck, a massive anchor strap tight around his waist. For a brief moment, he locks eyes with the ocean below, almost as if he's contemplating his entire life. Then they shove him overboard, and within seconds, he vanishes beneath the waves. No body ever surfaced. Some say he's buried deep on the ocean floor. Others believe the sharks tore him apart. But the story you heard doesn't even capture how brutal this really was. When you actually watch his video, it hits you on a whole different level. If you're curious to see the full moment he's pushed overboard by the cartel, it's posted inside my Discord server. Brah! Guys, it's very simple. Just hit the Patreon link in my bio, join any paid tier, and I'll personally send you the Discord link. Brah!
Brah. I remember this. Very traumatizing.
You guys, he's still alive. Earlier that day, a trapdoor was built directly underneath his tent. His tent measurements are 10 feet wide by 9 feet high, the exact measurements you need to create a hologram. And directly behind him was an over $60,000 holographic projector. That's why his ring jumps from his fourth finger to his pinky in some videos, and chairs fall through the tables. And by the way, I used to hunt. The kind of bullet that hit him would have exploded his head off. His neck wouldn't have been able to stop it. You need to wake up. You're being harvested.
So they carry a hologram to the SUV in front of thousands?
Maybe the most disturbing news you'll hear today. U.S. astronomers have just confirmed that one of the largest comets ever is on an impossible to deflect trajectory towards Earth. It's not a movie and it's not a guess. It has a number C 2025 Q7 and a diameter of more than 150 kilometers. Scientists say that if it did hit the Earth, would release as much energy as tens of millions of nuclear bombs combined. Entire continents could disappear in an instant and the climate would be permanently altered. But what's even more frightening is that it's on a trajectory of material we've never seen before. Some astrophysicists suspect that the comet's core is not ice, it's not rock, it's an unknown dense material that may have come from some dimension beyond the edge of the solar system that we don't yet understand. NASA has launched an emergency observation program, but warns that the comet's orbit is unstable and that any slight deflection could rewrite Earth's history.
We all can agree that there is a Satan that is running rampant.
Right.
What's in the Bible, they're not fake stories. They're the stories of what's going on today, just in a different word. Do you understand what I'm saying? That Bible, one of my friends once told me, it was one of my friends. It was me that stated it online. And I could give you the year in the video I did it. Okay? But my friend told me, hey, that Bible is your war manual.
War manual?
Every scripture can tell you which way you need to go. Now, for those of you who do not have a relationship with Jesus, I'm not trying to preach at you. I have been looking for peace and love somewhere, somehow. If you believe in another realm, if you believe in crystals, if you believe in other things, I thank you if you take the time to stand with us and hold space for this. Because let me tell you something. We all can agree that there is a Satan that is running rampant, can't we? And who is he after?
Who is he after? Definitely after kids, because kids are just like a plain book. You can write anything on them. The things that you taught them is the things that they keep themselves with. And the devil always targets the kids, our new generation, because it's so easy to manipulate the kids. Please share this video as many people as you can, because it's so important.
Here you go, girl.
Let me ask you a question. What was if you can recall, what was the worst thing or the most off-color thing that you saw happen at any one of these events?
Okay. So, now when it comes to his events, the most off-color thing I saw was 1 second he's in a suit, next second he's in a towel, and he's holding hands with two Eastern European gentlemen. And
when you say he, that's Diddy. You mean Diddy? Okay.
Yeah, and he's holding hands with these little vampire-looking guys, like the movie Twilight. And, you know, I knew, I said, all right, now I know what this is. I see what's going on here. You know, it's time for us to exit. You see what I'm saying? So, by the grace of the good Lord, you know, I was able to remove myself and my principal from there. But, you know, there's been times where I've been with guys and they're staying. You know, I had a famous singer tell me one day that he prefers trans ladies because they have stronger hands and stronger jaws.
Now, who told you that?
He's a singer. His name's Bobby Valentino.
Ooh. Bobby Valentino. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so you know, but we grew up, we never looked up to these type of people. We always looked up to the gangsters, bro. So like, the gangster guys, my uncles and all of them, they would always say, man, be careful, man, that entertainment stuff is for sissies.
Diddy got acquitted and Kashi Ventura is being sued by male sex workers for various crimes.
September 9,
This is
2025,
crazy,
the
man.
family receives a video. What it shows is pure horror. In it, a man sits shirtless in orange pants, his hands tied tight behind his back. His eyes are shut, not in peace, but bracing for the inedible. In front of him, a gunman presses the barrel of a pistol against his forehead. The man gives a short speech, only a few seconds long, and then it happens. The trigger is pulled, his head snaps back against a brick wall, blood pours down his face, dripping like a waterfall. He slumps to the side, eyes wide open as blood pools beneath him. Then the video cuts to black, but behind that darkness wasn't a stranger. The victim was 23-year-old Luis Gutierrez, a municipal cleaning worker from Victolarco, a district in Peru. On September 6, his family reported him missing after he never came home from work. Days later, the only thing they got back was a video of his execution. But the cruelty didn't stop there. The killers demanded $5,000 for the location of his body. When authorities eventually located his remains, reports say they had been burned and dismembered. The investigation is still ongoing and no arrests have been made. Guys, his killers are still out there walking freely among the public. If you want to see the full video of his execution, then join my Discord server. Brah, it's super simple. Just go to my profile, click the Patreon link, and join any paid tier. Once you're in, I'll personally send you the link to my private Discord where you'll get access to all the dark videos I can't post anywhere else. Brah!
Man, I don't want to see that. These people are really evil, man.
Why were these carvings defaced? Don't you say it. You know what that face is. You know what that is.
I like this guy.
Shut up! Listen. Why were these carvings defaced? Who are these people? Why is that? Why did they get rid of all of their noses? Their noses are chopped off. Now, why would you ruin a perfect statue like this? Why? Why is that? Why would they do that? Why would you cut off the nose of a perfectly fine statue? Think about it. I've thought about it. Because it makes no sense for them to ruin such a wonderful piece of art. These people took a long time to do this. These perfectly fine statues. Why would you chop the nose off? Who the hell is this? Looks like one of my peoples. Yeah. You could chop the nose off, but you can't change his features. Looks like dreads to me. Why would they do that? What are they hiding? What are they trying to hide? Why would you do that? Now, for real, this looks like one of my grandfathers or something. Who is this? And why would they do that to his nose? This dude looked like he has dreadlocks. Don't you agree? Something is going on in Egypt. Something is going on. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just asking people why would they chop their noses off on those statues? And why did they deface those other statues? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about this. You know anything about this? Because I don't. I'm out.
They don't want us to know.
Wait, you can actually buy this robot for the price of a used car. This is Unitree G1 and it's breaking the internet for all the right reasons. While most humanoid robots are locked away in labs costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, This thing is actually out in the wild for just $16K. We're talking about a robot that can walk, run, dance, and manipulate objects, and regular people are actually getting their hands on it. This video went absolutely viral when people thought it was fake, and the CEO literally had to post more footage to prove it was real. Then this clip got 80 million views, and everyone started calling it Uncle Bot because of how human-like it moves. And you can literally program this thing yourself. Unitree gives you full access to their SDK so developers can code custom behaviors. That's why every G1 you see acts a little different, because people are programming their own personalities and skills into them. So unlike those $1,000,000 lab experiments, these are actually being deployed everywhere. Research labs, tech companies, innovation hubs, everywhere. That's why you're seeing robots just casually walking around in public now and dancing at crosswalks like it's completely normal. Of course, they learn everything in virtual reality first, then that training gets transferred into the physical robot, basically teaching them skills in the digital world before they even touch reality. But this is the first time regular people can own and program humanoid robots however they want, at a pretty reasonable price. So are we ready for a world where your neighbor can program their own robot to do literally whatever they want? Follow and I'll keep you posted.
I'll wait for the model that can do dishes and laundry.
Kris Jenner is the new face of MAC makeup, but every time I see a picture of Kris Jenner, I ask myself how it's even possible to look like that. I don't understand how people can say she just had plastic surgery. That's impossible. When you're 70 years old, there aren't 50 ways to stretch the skin. I don't think it's just plastic surgery. Everyone tries to convince me there's some way to turn a 70-year-old woman into someone who looks 30. How is it possible that she looks younger than her own daughters in their 30s and 40s? Sure, some parts of the body can be worked on, but you can't make the skin on the neck look that young again. And if you thought Kris Jenner was the only one, she's not. It's the same with Martha Stewart. Everybody ages normally, then suddenly they seem to decide one day to look half their age. What's going on? Is there some kind of elite procedure to fix a flabby neck? Is this method being kept secret by the elites, while regular people like us don't get access to it? Like I said, at that age, such a shocking transformation shouldn't even be possible. And when you look at this version of Kris Jenner, she doesn't look anything like the person we used to see everywhere. She's become almost flawless at 70. But what's going to happen when she gets even older?
Illuminati give her a makeover.
Believing that you control your day, but every event has already been predetermined by the last feeling before you fell asleep last night. Neville Goddard revealed the hidden mechanics in Job. During sleep, the conscious merges with the subconscious, and the latter spends the entire night creating the means to express exactly what you felt in the final seconds before falling asleep. Your only real freedom is to choose that final feeling, and after that, you become an actor in a script that you wrote unconsciously. The Song of Songs hides the technique. I held him and would not let him go until I had brought him into the chamber of her that conceived me. Hold the feeling of the desire already fulfilled and bring it to the subconscious through sleep. Every night you do this without realizing it. You carry anxieties to bed and wake up surrounded of the problems you planted. The subconscious does not judge. It only faithfully reproduces any impression it receives in the physical world. 1/3 of your existence spent sleeping determines the other 2/3 spent awake. But you waste this creative power by sleeping in random mental states.
That's why my grandmother told me to do the God prayer before bedtime.
Her blood and her DNA are not from this planet. She's 78 years old. She's been here almost 80 years. Mexico, Guadalupe, Mexico. Woman 78 years old needs to get surgery. They test her blood and they find that that blood is not human. It's not compatible with any blood from any human on this planet. Then they run a DNA check and they say that's not human DNA. She's been on this planet for 78 years and nobody's ever noticed. They even tested her blood to see if it's a mutation and they counted the mutation out. This story is spreading in Spanish. The person who put the story up speaks all 100% Spanish, and it's starting to spread in obviously Mexico. So what I'm doing is just translating the story for you guys. But this is something that we have to watch. I just ate and I can't stop burping. And see if more details come out as this story develops. I'll keep you informed.
Maybe she's partially Nephilim. What is it? What are we looking at? Oh, a dark entity. I need to see the original video of this.
Gene Roddenberry, the man who created Star Trek, made bizarre comments about his daughters. Watch the end.
In my first marriage, I had two lovely daughters, and I had the joy in that marriage of girls. And girls are such delicious, sweet-smelling, wonderful things. I can still remember when they would be so clean and their hair done, their starched dresses, and how when they would bend over, the dresses would come up, and you'd see the panties.
What's going on?
Let me know your
here?
thoughts and comments below.
This guy.
Wow. He went boldly where the father's going before.
17 dimensions, and an entity that they have been in contact with for over 7 years.
Don't be afraid. Be imperfect.
So CERN recently turned on their Hadron, however you guys want to call it, collider. I always call it hydrogen collider. And then again, this ain't my first language. Hi, my name is Armin. This is The Imperfect. If you're new to the channel, please consider dropping a follow. It'll mean the world to me, and I'll follow you back as soon as I can. TikTok allows me 10,000, and we're halfway there. Anyway, so CERN literally turned on their hydrogen collider, however you want to call it, once again. But this is concerning. Why is this? So they had this weird ritual that lasted for 4 hours. What? They did this above ground and underground. You have world leaders from all over the place that took part in this, at least as a witness or a fan, right? So if we're spending $10 billion to search for the God particle, antimatter, a lot of people are saying that they're trying to store antimatter, but they can't. Also, why are they calling it the portal of Osiris? All kinds of weird stuff is going on here. If it's supposed to be scientific, why are they dressed demonic? Why are they dressed as goats? Why are they doing human?
Imperfect.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not... This ain't right. Something's up, clearly. The fact that they named it a portal anyway, the portal of Osiris, but the fact they're willing to openly say it's a portal, this also is not science fiction. This is science fact. CERN literally says this
who are
themselves.
actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality.
That should be concerning. Again, my name is Armin. Welcome to The Imperfect. If you're new to the channel, drop that follow. Big videos coming on YouTube soon.
Way more to this than we know.
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
This disturbing 911 call is going viral right now, and it comes from a video on Carolina Case Files. I'll tag it below. And so the story goes. On July 31st of 2021, in Pender County, North Carolina, a man was driving his truck late at night near the Moores Creek National Battlefield. This is when he saw a tall man wearing what looked to be Civil War attire. On top of that, it looked like he had blood all over his body. So he attempted to find a safe spot to pull over so he could call the police and get him aid, because at this point, he wasn't sure exactly what he saw. And allegedly, according to Sheriff A.W. Cutler of Pender County, this is the real 911 call that was recorded. Take a look.
Pender County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53E. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
What the?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road, it's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am, I just turned on my bed lights for my truck and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
Now, according to reports, the thing jumped into the cab of the truck and started beating on the roof. And when he turned around to see what it was, the thing's face was pressed against the window, looking back at him.
You could actually hear something beating on the top of the truck. The caller stated that it was beating and scratching on the top of the cab of his truck. He actually stated that he was able to engage his bed light and was able to somewhat identify this object that was in the back of his truck. At some point he was able to slam on his brakes, and the force of inertia actually threw this thing out over his hood and onto the highway, where this thing stood up in the roadway, made its way to the wood line, and disappeared in the woods.
Now, I looked up this officer, and he really is the sheriff of Pender County. So whether or not it's real, I'll leave it up to you. But let me know what you think.
Wow, creepy. And I believe this man.
Well, apparently, y'all, the rapture is happening today.
Let's go.
That's all I've been seeing down my timeline, y'all. Is rapture, rapture, rapture. They literally said the date was going to be September 23rd. And we are literally 15 minutes away from September 23rd, y'all. So you mean to tell me the rapture's finna happen and you about to have people just disappearing like Thanos? If I walk out my house and I just see clothes everywhere, then I'm gonna know, like, damn, fool, I wasn't the one that got picked. But like I said, a lot of people been talking about this. You got people selling their cars, you got people selling their homes, you got people giving up shit like it's really finna happen. So let's say it don't happen. You already sold your house, you sold your car, you sold your clothes, you sold everything, thinking it was gonna happen. No one knows the time or date, so I'm just lost, fool. But like I said, we are close to the 23rd, so we're gonna see.
No one knows when the rapture will happen. Only God knows. By the way, it's the 24th night in Indonesia.
This woman surprised her whole family when she walked into her own funeral and confronted her husband for calling a hitman on her.
What? She walked into her own funeral?
Yes. So this happened in Australia in 2015 to this lady named Noella Rukundo. Originally, she's from Burundi, but in 2004, she ended up moving to Australia where she met this guy who ended up becoming her husband. Everything seems so far so good in their relationship. Around 2015 in January, her mother back in Burundi ends up passing away. So she goes back to Burundi for her mother's funeral. While she's at her mother's funeral, she's staying like at a hotel. She ends up getting a call from her husband. And her husband pretty much tells her like to go outside because there's something out there for you. She goes outside her hotel. She gets snatched by a bunch of dudes, throw her into her car, tie her up, take her to a warehouse. She already thinks like, holy shit, like I'm dead. I'm gonna die. Luckily for her though, one of the hitmen knew her brother back in Burundi.
Really?
Yes. So he's like, all right, look, I'm not gonna kill you, but I just want to let you know your husband is the one
who set you up.
Who called me to get you.
Wow.
And at first she's like, no way, I don't believe you. He calls the husband.
Yeah.
And tells him like, look, I got her. The job's done. I got her. Do you want me to kill her? And she hears her own husband like, okay, yeah, do it. Get rid of her.
Wow.
He pretty much sets this girl free though. She ends up going back to Australia without anybody knowing. And she starts to talk to the police because she has proof of all the messages. So she has all the proof that her husband sent the hitman out on her. Instead of just right away confronting her husband, she decides to make a plan. So she talks to the local church where she knows they will have her funeral at. She's cool with the pastor. The day of the funeral, she walks in. Her whole family shook. No one knows that she's alive. Everyone thinks she's dead. She goes right up to her husband, and she tells him, like, no, I know what the hell you did. You called these hitmen to come kill me.
Yeah.
Please come in, arrest him right then and there, damn near. The reason why he called the hitman on her,
I was just gonna ask.
he was jealous and he was scared that she was gonna leave him for another man.
This
Get
is
outta
insecure
here,
final
man.
boss.
I swear to God.
AI can now read your brain while you're watching this video. Scientists at Meta just unleashed Tribe, an AI that can literally read your mind in real time, and it's terrifyingly accurate. Let me explain. So right now, as you're watching this video, something crazy is happening in your head. Your brain is taking my voice, these visuals, maybe some noise in your room, and somehow creating one perfect reality. And scientists have been trying to crack this code on how all of this happens for decades. And they finally just did. So before, they were stuck studying brains one piece at a time, like trying to understand music by listening to drums for an hour or just the guitar for an hour. The problem was that you'd understand one instrument really well, but you'd completely miss how together they make music sound so good. And that's where Meta's researchers came in. They built this AI called Tribe that learned about brains by binge watching hours of TV shows and movies. But it wasn't just watching, it was processing the video, the audio, the subtitles all at once, just like how your brain does. They made this 3D map of our brains while it's working. So red areas show where you process words, green is for audio, blue is for visuals, and the mixed colors is where your brain combines things. So yellow is where your brain mixes word meanings with sound. Cyan is where it blends what you see with what you hear. So now we can actually look how our brain builds the world around us. And they trained this model on
This
all
is
kinds
crazy.
of content. So it works on nature documentaries, cartoons, even old silent movies. It's gotten so good that it can predict which brain region will activate just from watching what you're watching. No brain scans or anything needed. What this means is that scientists can now test brain theories on a computer first before doing any experiments on real people. So essentially, they're building virtual brain labs that can help us finally understand consciousness, memory, and how we actually think. And in the paper, the researchers said they haven't even maxed this out yet. More data makes it exponentially better. And to top it off, Meta showed this off at the 2025 Algonauts competition, and it won first place with the most advanced brain reading AI on the planet. So what happens when this gets more powerful? What happens when everyone has access to it? I'd love to know your thoughts. Follow and I'll keep you posted.
This is scary, folks. Hey, but one thing I know for sure, Meta will use it for some nefarious reason.
China's consumption is huge. $7 trillion in 2023-2024. That is more than 3 times India's. And remember, China has 1.4 billion people, but so does India. In fact, India has a little bit more. But if you consume China's consumption and India's consumption, that isn't even half of America's consumption.
Crazy, man.
That's how much of the world's consumer base is in the United States. $18.8 trillion. But let's take an even deeper look. You would have to add China, Germany, India, the UK, France, Brazil, Italy, and Mexico's consumption to match what the United States spends in 1 year. Another freaking crazy way to look at it is that the United States consumes the equivalent of 3.5 trillion people in some of the most developed economies on the planet. And remember, we only have a population of about 330 million. And the reason why I am mentioning this to all of you is that this consumption, this huge strength, is also a major weakness that the people could use if they are unhappy with the current system. And I don't mean the administration, I mean the system as is. The only way the system does any real changes is if consumption will be affected. And you could see this on the micro scale with Disney. Remember, they suspended Jimmy Kimmel. They fired him. They were going to take him off the air. But because the consumers protested and started canceling their Disney subscriptions, Disney caved. Jimmy Kimmel's got his job back. That is a profound example of consumer strength. And remember, we are the consumers. And it isn't just Disney and a couple of other companies that are this vulnerable to the consumers, which is you and me. It is all of the companies. And who are the primary funders of the politicians that aren't actually representing us? Yes, these companies. So if you want your politicians to change, you have to start scaring these companies with your lack of consumption. The system, as it is, wants you to protest on the street so they can make an example of you. They also want you to keep voting. It doesn't even matter how red or blue it is, because in the end, these guys are both different sides of the same coin. Don't believe me? Just look at the average tax rate of the top 1%, Citizens United, healthcare reform, and how even though we did have at times very potent Democratic presidents who at some point had the House and the Senate with them on the blue side, they still couldn't get what they wanted done. Gee, I wonder why. It wasn't just because of the GOP. It was because the very wealthy will always have their interests put first. And what is the greatest concern of the wealthy? That you keep consuming and keep the money printing machine going. You stop consuming, you stop everything. If you keep consuming, you will get mediocre candidates on both sides of the aisle. You stop consuming, and these guys will do an overhaul to make sure they have candidates that can actually represent you to go back out into the market and keep consumption up. And it doesn't even have to be a huge drop in consumption. The 2008 recession saw a 2.3, a 2.5% drop in consumption, and you saw all of the bailouts and stimulus that was released. And then, of course, there's what happened with COVID, which was a 20% drop in about 3 months, and we saw what happened. Now, I'm not saying don't buy anything ever, because that's ridiculous, that's impossible. But if every American on average dropped their consumption by 2 or 5%, that would be the most loud and potent form of protest. And even the big wig system would be listening to us. So no, it's not seize the means of production. It is seize the means of consumption, your consumption. But the question is, are you willing to deal with the consequences of this kind of protest? Because it would be a little bit messy. People would start to lose their jobs, and there would be a great deal of economic downturn. But it really is the only way to ensure some kind of change happens in our favor and not the wealthiest. I am the Geo Husar, and help me get this going. Thanks for watching.
You know, maybe because everything in US is insanely overpriced. I don't know, but let me know in the comment.
This right here is the scariest and most dangerous book ever created. The thing you're looking at right now is basically a book called Shams al-Ma'arif, and if you found one in front of you, don't open it. Shit, don't even touch it. And if you're wondering how come such a powerful and a dangerous book exists, well, here's the full story. It all started in the 13th century with this guy right here called Ahmed al-Bunni. You see, this guy dedicated his whole life to study and discover the unseen mysteries. And this is what he meant by unseen mysteries, creatures that we can't see called jinns. Now you're probably like, okay bro, I mean, he's been learning all this stuff. I mean, where's the problem in that? Well, the problem is he decided to put everything he knew in one book. Yes, every single thing that he studied, every single thing that he knew, and he knew some dangerous stuff, he decided to put it all in one book, Shams al-Ma'arif, the Sun of Knowledge. This right here is one of the pages just for you to know how it looks like from the inside, and it explores so many topics. Like here, for example, it's talking about soul and energy. And like I told you, so many topics, right? But this is where it gets dark, because here he's talking about sorcery, magic. He's basically giving all the formulas so you can call these creatures. And this is why this book right here is so feared, because it has so many spiritual informations. And if these informations go to the wrong people, you already know what's gonna happen. You see, all they gotta do is reading, understanding, and then practicing, and then congratulations. They just learned one of humanity's darkest secrets. I mean, some people don't even dare to look at it because they are scared of the power it has.
Thank you.
I mean, the guy's handwriting, it's not all that. I mean, he was probably shaking when he was writing, but even I can read and understand what he's saying here. So just imagine some people who dedicate their whole life to this and then use it for bad purposes. So yes, this is a lesson that has to be learned. If you come across a copy of Shams al-Ma'arif, the Sun of Knowledge, don't even touch it. Act like he wasn't there. And don't get my guy wrong. You see, yes, he went too far. Yes, there are something that he should have never wrote or said. But you know, he created a tool. And some people are using his tool in a bad way, in a way that he never...
All right. Good to know.
Look what they did with the #1 guy on TV news, Tucker Carlson.
It actually reminds me of my favorite story ever.
What a mistake firing that guy. You should have kept him there and contained him.
2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it.
Letting that guy go loose and do his own show, it's not like people are going to stop listening.
They become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up.
They fired him. He was the #1 guy. And they're like, you're getting too crazy. See ya.
And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking.
You're asking too many questions. Too many questions. You're getting a little too nutty.
And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him?
Now you look at that guy, now he's wild.
That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
Guess what? If it's got it.
Tucker is telling us something.
Why is the FBI lying about Charlie Kirk's assassination? We can now confirm that the sound waves from the gun firing, that it was less than 90 feet away. We also have been able to identify the entry and exit, right side to left side, which puts the shooter directly to the right and above Charlie Kirk. But why is Kash Patel and the FBI lying about it?
A story that makes me believe 100% that I was a part of a hybridization program. So in this particular moment, it was in Oviedo, Florida, and it was nighttime. The memory starts, I'm holding my son's hand, I'm in the driveway, we're both looking up, and there's a massive, massive UFO in the sky. It was a darker, metalish color. It didn't look man-made at all. It did have indentations in it in which light was coming out of it, and there was a mist coming off of it, like a purplish, velvetish mist that kind of sparkled and sprinkled down. I just remember going from seeing this massive UFO in my driveway to walking down a long hallway. Now, it felt like the hallway went forever. It was well lit. It was almost like atmosphere. I don't know how the light got there. It was just lit. It looked almost 3D printed. And we was walking down the hallway. Now, I'm holding my son's hand, and to the left of me is a very tall being. It was about Shaq height. I'm 6'1", and it dwarfed me. It looked identical to a gray. It's just a smaller head and a way longer neck. I was holding his hand. I just remember about the hands. It just drives me crazy. It's how it wrapped around my whole hand. Those fingers, man, they wrapped all the way to the back of my hand and around. But the weirdest thing is, I'm standing next to this being and I'm not scared. There is no fear going through my body. I remember looking up at it, and this is the best way I can explain it. I do it all the time. It looks at me like this. Like the way it tweaked his neck to look back down at me, the way it curved his neck to look down at me, it was just, to this day, it still creeps me out. And I just remember looking down, being okay with it, and my son walking with me and holding his hand was another tall gray. So now we're walking down this hallway, and we come across what I know to be a two-way mirror now, but at the time it just looked like a window. What I see when I look inside this window is, it looked almost like a lobby of a children's hospital. You know how they put murals on the wall, kind of like a bear in a conga line with a bunch of other kids, and then a tiger at the end. And there was some toys in the corner. There was a circular rug and a rocking chair on top of that rug. So as I'm looking at this, one of the grays grabbed my son and gently walks him into this room in which I'm looking into. My son almost already knew what to do, which was weird. My son literally just walked into the room and sat Indian style in the right side of the corner. I can see an archway in the back right side of the room, and in that archway, some kids start walking in. And they walked in and they just didn't look human. The eyes gave it away. The very small ears, the little petite mouth, and the big eyes give it away. wasn't big black eyes on these kids. They were like, some of them were blue, green eyes. You could see the whites in their eyes and you could see the pupil. And the hair was very thin, very frail. And they had almost like hospital gowns that looked like gauze. And they sit in Indian style and they form a circle with my son. One of the beings bring like a white feather or like a white material paper or something. It was just white. And they're starting to just making it float without touching it. So it's kind of like they're playing catch, but they're not touching the item. So I guess they were like practicing or teaching my son telekinesis, is what it felt like. They were just having fun playing. I'm wondering why I'm watching this, but I'm totally fine with it. Then the gray grabs me by the hand and walks me into the same room and sits me right in the rocking chair. It was a mirror, and I can see whatever was behind me reflecting off the mirror. I'm staring, that's how I knew it was a two-way mirror. And I'm staring at it. In the mirror, I could see this hybrid lady come in. And she walked in and she handed me a baby. And I just remember looking at her, noticing she wasn't human, but she was very kind. It wasn't like, here's a baby. It was more like, very gentle. Everything's very gentle. So she gives me this baby, and then it gives me a bottle. And I'm looking at the baby, and I'm noticing the baby is just very pale. The eyes were really black, but really almost sunk in. The hair was really like dead, almost looking gray. These were grays, like they had the gray, the complete black gray eyes, like the hybrid grays. The kids had human-looking eyes. It was almost like they wanted me to give it love and feed it. Like, how do you nourish it? How do you make it live? And I just remember seeing the gray watching me do it. And it's just intensely like, almost like it's learning. I get the sense of connection that is mine. I felt like they were like, the only person that could give this thing love is his parents. Like, it's his father, it's his connection. Maybe it's dying, like the dad's not here to comfort it and show it love and make it live, make it want to live. I have the sense that this is my baby. It's mine.
Okay, there are no such things as aliens. It's spiritual beings.
Did you know the Vatican hides a prisoner said to be the first woman ever created, long before Eve? Beneath the Basilica of St. Peter, past forgotten tunnels and sealed corridors, there is a door that appears on no map. Behind it, according to forbidden manuscripts, lies the prison of the first woman, known in ancient texts as Lilith. These records claim she was formed from the same dust as Adam, equal in strength and will. But when she refused to submit, she abandoned Eden. Pursued by angels, she learned the forbidden names of God, gained power over shadows and dreams, and swore vengeance on those who cast her out. The church, fearing her return, used blood rituals and relics of martyrs to bind her in a marble sarcophagus beneath the Vatican. Her body was sealed in stone, her spirit locked inside a reliquary of hearts anointed in holy oil. But the priests assigned to guard her began hearing whispers, at first faint, then in their dreams. Some vanished. Others were found with blackened eyes, repeating the same words, "I was the first, and I will be the last." On stormy nights, echoes of pounding shake the underground walls, as if something inside is desperate to be freed. And in the basilica above, shadows move like a woman watching, waiting.
Why is everyone imprisoned under the Vatican?
Oh, no. Y'all, what the hell is going on at this ceremony? At the Charlie Kirk ceremony, y'all? This shit is weird to me. It's not weird to y'all? What else do y'all notice that's weird to y'all about this picture? You can't make this shit up, y'all. This shit is weird. I seen the video and I can't find it no more. I should have saved that jump. But look at Elon Musk's left hand. Look at that jump. What do y'all notice about Elon's left hand? This shit is weird, fool.
What?
Look at buddy right here. He looking like, hey, I'm noticing the same shit. I'm not gonna say what it is. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. What the fuck is wrong with this picture? I'm just sitting here like, bruh. If y'all don't know this, I can't see for y'all. I know what my eyes see. Y'all tell me what y'all eyes see. And yes, this is a real picture, fool. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That shit right there don't look normal.
Can you just enlighten us what you see? I feel like you give him a homework assignment because I don't see nothing but his hand ball up into a fist.
Major update. 3i Atlas has now changed course, changed its trajectory. NASA has moved all of its arrays to watch 3i Atlas. At the same time, 7 dark comets have appeared from behind the sun. These are comets without tails and show light at the front of them. And Harvard physicists, NASA, and a slew of amateur astronomers are now saying that 3i Atlas is extraterrestrial. This is enormous news. All right, let's talk about what's going on. Troops have been deployed to Memphis, Chicago, New York City, DC, Columbus, and a lot of other major cities. They're now announcing that 3i Atlas is actually an alien mothership, given the fact that it doesn't have a tail. There are UAP spottings all over the globe. Russia just attacked Poland with drones, and we are on the verge of World War III. I think they are all connected, and I think I'm going to be able to spot this the entire time and call it as I see it. Even well, investigative journalists are being banned and shadow banned. Type in the comment, what do you think?
Why are you wearing a night vision goggles?
In the medieval palace, if you secretly walked into the bedchamber of Queen Isabella, you would smell a suffocating stench. She often boasted about her personal habits. What she was most proud of was that she had only bathed twice in her life, once at birth and once before her wedding. King Louis XVI of France was no different. He did not take his first bath until the age of 7, because people at the time believed that frequent washing of private parts would cause infertility. But ironically, they could not stand each other's body odor to cope with this. Medieval noblewomen often carried flower bouquets. This tradition even extended to weddings. They also used fans to cover their faces, not because they were shy, but because they never brushed their teeth. Almost everyone had a mouthful of black teeth. This condition was called the disease of the nobles because only the rich could afford sugar. They also did not wash their hair, because fine hair was too hard to manage, so they simply wore wigs. But wigs were rarely cleaned. They just sprinkled perfumed powder on them to mask the smell, which attracted lice to prevent lice from falling into their food. They wore all kinds of fancy hats. The invention of the umbrella was also not for sun protection, but to protect people walking on the streets from being hit by waste thrown down from upstairs.
Oh, so glad it wasn't around then.
She's like, hey, you need to find a job or you have to go. I'm like, Mom, where am I going to go? She's like, I don't know. You can't keep living here because I'm just supporting this. I'm like, okay, it's my mom. I'm the baby child. You're not kicking me out. You kidding me? My mom and papa would light you up. You kick me out of this house. That's her mom and dad. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm playing video games. She calls me up. She's like, hey, you find a job? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to try Hibbett Sports up at that new shopping center complex. She's like, okay, all right. So I go up there and I'm like, oh man, please give me a job. I'm like, I'm looking like a bag of ass, right? I got like sandals on and some gym shorts and a dirty shirt with Dorito cheese all over it and a hat backwards. I'm like, hey man, y'all hiring? They're like, oh, we're not hiring you. I was like, oh, wow. I thought this was going to be easy. So I go outside and I'm sitting on the bench. I'm like, oh my God, she's really going to kick you out of the house. Where are you going to work? I'm like, I'm not going to McDonald's. No, we'll figure this out. I hear this guy, he's like, hey man, you okay? And I look up, he's kind of a bigger dude and he's got the old digital camo on. It said United States Army. I was like, man, I'm not doing so good. I'm like, my mom's about to kick me out of the house. I need a job. He's like, you need a job? How old are you? I'm like, at that point, I was 20. I'm like, I'm 20. He goes, come on inside. Let me talk to you. He's like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, man, I play Call of Duty. He was like, oh yeah. He goes, let me talk to you about real life Call of Duty. It's just like Call of Duty. I was like, dude, just like Call of Duty? I'm like, I'm down. I'm like, let's go. We go inside. I do the little computer ASVAB thing, got my score. He's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, how about the infantry? I was like, what's it like? He goes, Call of Duty, man. He goes, front lines. He goes, just like the game you play. All the cool gear. I was like, yeah, I want to do that. He's like, all right, cool. Signed up, got a ship date for ship date was in January or December of 2010. And I go home, I'm playing video games, and she goes, you still here? Did you get a job? I'm like, I did. She goes, oh man, I'm so proud of you. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, Mama, join the Army. She's like, oh my God, I killed my baby. tell him you can't go. I was like, I don't think that's how that works, Mom. I'm like, I've already signed paperwork. I'm fully committed. She goes, oh my God, I killed him. She's like, oh.
All I heard was the army took advantage of a desperate person, a boy. I mean, you know.
Breaking news. A rapper named Forgiato Blow just dropped a very dangerous song called Good versus Evil. And let me be very clear. This is not art. It's an extremely, extremely dangerous message. The song doesn't just hint at it, it brags and encourages lynching.
What?
He talks about ropes, trees, and glorifies racial violence. People are being found in trees under suspicious circumstances.
This is crazy.
And there's even a video that I posted. If you go to my page, you'll see it. Of a child who was allegedly hung by another student in an elementary school. Elementary school. So when music like this is allowed, that celebrates and basically offers a how-to on this type of violence, it's not harmless, it's fuel. So I'll ask you, do you think this is just a song, or is it an attempt to start a race war? Because silence right now, that's permission.
Well, he's using a black music genre. Wow.